Well, welcome to another episode of Driving New Zealand Outback. And in this adventure we're going to the old church, the highest church in the country, which is up that way. And behind me is the Poolburn Lake, and that's on the old Dunstan Road. And the old Dunstan Road sort of goes from east of Alexandra and goes all the way to a place called Sutton. And if you look on the map, you'll find Sutton on the way to Dunedin, just past Middlemarch. And as you can see, there are a lot of cribs. They call them cribs down here, but batches in the north. But people come up here and build their crib and enjoy the summer. In the winter time, it would all be covered in snow, and the Dunstan Road's actually closed from June till October. So if you wanted to do that little trip, it's a wonderful old road. But we're going to go to a turn off just up the road a bit. We'll hang a right, and then we'll wend our way around to this old church, and then we head east, the back road, and we basically end up at a place called Ranfurly. So we'll head off now and start our adventure. So when you get to the top of that Poolburn Road, you've passed Poolburn and you've come to this double gate. When you get through to the other side, you veer off to the right, and that'll take you to the Serpentine Church. You veer off to the left, that's still the old Dunstan Road. So there you go, double gates at the top of Poolburn. Once you've gone through, head off to the right. So as you come along this track, you've probably gone about 4k, 5k maybe, and it's pretty bumping, but today it's nice and dry. A couple of times we've been up here and it's been wet and soggy and muddy and slippery and slidey, but today just a little bit of dust and as I said, bouncy. So you'll come across this first little hut in front of us, and from here it's about 3 or 4k down to the old church. And as we go up that hill in front of us, you can look down into the valley and actually see the old church. But it's a nice to see a hut like this. You can it's cold and miserable. You can you can get inside and have a bit of a break. So it's 1 o'clock now, so we're gonna have we'll pull up into here and we'll have some lunch. Look at this. And you've got a bit of a kitchen, a couple of bunks. What more could you need? Right in the top of nowhere. I'll find somewhere to write something. Here we go. Billy Hohepa et al. The date today is the 17th of the 3, I get 22. Awesome Road. Tick, tick, tick. We usually stop about 12 o'clock, between 12 and 1, wherever we are, but this is just a nice little flat place next to this hut. And the tray of this truck is a ton of room in it. I mean, we brought all our gear, no worries at all. And it's nice and flat when you put the cover on. But a nice hot cup of tea and a cheese bun, I suppose you call it, for lunch is very nice, and for pudding, a piece of cake. Down in that valley is the highest church in the country. I'm not sure how high it is, but they tell me it's the highest church in the country, and that's our destination. And when we get down there, I'll tell you a little bit more. Well, we've arrived at this church in the Serpentine, and there's just acres and hectares and hectares and acres, take your pick, of dockland in here, of tussock and what we call triffids. And triffids is also known as a wild spaniel, and it's got spikes that long, and you don't want to be anywhere near them with your bottom. So anyway, we'll have a look in the church, and then after that we're going to take that track out to towards Ranfurly. So let's have a look in this church. There's the something like the, what does it say? It says the Serpentine Union Church. That's what that says. And please respect this building. It cost £100 to build, and should see it. 1873 they built it. And there was a gold mine here, and there was a bit of a population here, and the gold miners were just congregating this church while the minister came up from Dunedin on horseback, and then he berated them all for drinking in his church while they were waiting for him. But anyway, it's just a good piece of New Zealand history. One or two flies stuck in here. They must have been here for a while. I suppose they can get out if they wanted to, but they all think that's the way out. Of course it isn't. Oh, and there's even a cupboard here. It looks like it was built about the same time. What's in it? Okay, there's a plate broken and a few bits and bobs. But if you'd walked in here and this is the only point of accommodation, you go, woohoo, made it. And to hold the roof down in the howling gales, they've got number 8 wire tied to a rock. These are anchored to the ground, and you can ratchet them down a bit, but that's to keep the roof on. So there you go, that's the old church in the Serpentine in central Otago. Now we're heading our way back to Ranfurly, and we're crossing pretty much the Rock and Pillar Range, and aptly named because there are rocks and pillars stacked high all over the place, and each time you look at one of these rocks it takes on the appearance of a bird or a lizard or a face or somebody you know. But anyway, after the break we're going to take 7 cannons on a very serious 4-wheel drive trek, just to test them out and see how good they really are. So if you want to know how good a cannon really is, you should be watching the next half of this show and episode 4. So we'll see you at Whangamomona. With me is Tim Elliott from Kepler Motors in Hamilton, and good on you, Tim. Maybe tell us a little bit about the vehicles you sell.
Right, well, we've got an absolutely amazing range from the GWM Haval product lineup. We start with a small SUV with the Jolian, and we start from that at $27,990 plus on-road costs. We then go through that range. We have 3 models in the Jolian range. We then go into the H6, which is the next size up, your mid-size SUV, and that we actually have 5 models in that range.
Wow.
Yeah, starting from $33,990.
Yeah.
So when you look at the value for money in our range, and we even have right through to a hybrid, like our new car behind me here. As well as the SUVs, we have a stunning lineup of the GWM Cannon, which is New Zealand Autocar Magazine's Ute of the Year for 2020.
Wow.
Not only has it come up Ute of the Year because of its build quality, ride quality and safety, now 5-star safety rating in 2021, it is an absolutely amazing package. You don't get the harsh ride that you traditionally get in a ute, but you get all the safety and benefit of having 3-ton towing capacity, up to a ton payload in the back, but also room for your guests in the back of the vehicle if you're taking a few along with you.
With a bit of leg room.
With a bit of leg room and vents in the back, so they have actually get a bit of fresh air as well.
Oh, that's marvellous. Get hold of Tim, and I'm sure he'll look after you.
Look forward to hearing from you.
Capital Tyres in the CBD of Hamilton. We have been servicing the Hamilton and Greater Waikato since 1979. We're not a franchise. Capital Tyres is a family-owned and operated business situated in the CBD of Hamilton. Please feel free to look through our tyre and tyre maintenance services online, or even better still, come and visit our friendly and experienced team today. Check out our webpage at www.capitaltyres.co.nz or call us on 07 839 4115. That's 07 839 4115. Well, we're here at the Whangamomona Hotel behind me there, and there's 7 Canon utes here to come along with us along this 4-wheel drive trek. And the trek goes from the Whangamomona pub right through to a place called the Bridge to Somewhere. And when we get to the other end, we'll have another chat about the bridge to somewhere. Then after that, we're going to head our way back out and we'll come back here. But getting down there, it's been raining for the last 10 days. Today it's lovely, beautiful sunny day. So it's all going to be a bit exciting because we don't know what's ahead of us. Well, we're off, and leading the pack is Ralph and his Nissan Patrol, and that's fully equipped with winches and jacks and all the things you need to rescue people who are slightly stuck. 5 of these GWM trucks are on road tyres and 2 are on 4-wheel drive tyres, and that's going to be a little bit of a challenge, but if you can get through on road tyres, that's pretty impressive. This road travels along, it starts getting a little bit narrower, and it's, as I said before, it's been raining a few days before today, so everything's just a little bit soggy. Now we've come to some trees, and there looks like there's a bit of a slip up ahead, and so Ralph will be the first there. He'll check it out and see what he thinks. He'll probably give it a go and see if he can get across, and if he does, we should all be able to get across. And so we'll just take a look. So there's Ralph and his Rescue 1 Nissan Patrol, and looks like he's doing it no problem at all. So what we've got here is this big rock. Ralph and them have come across it, no worries, but we just need to get rid of that big rock and it'll just mean everybody gets across nice and safely. So what we're going to do is Ralph's going to back the Jeep up, we'll put a rope around that rock and see if we can just drag it out of the way.
Mind you, 5 of us on the rope will move it. Is this your first four-wheel drive adventure? Awesome! Caution of that.
We'll have somebody here just to guide you through. Some of those, there's enough here to eat the bloody thing.
Just tuck it against the wall.
We'll kick that rock out too.
Gonna hook this one.
Yeah.
Yep. Chuck something under it. Look at that. How many people have looked at their diesel filter on the cannons? No.
You just sink it into that hole. That should do it. Well, the first of the cannons is me. Those front wheels are really spinning until they grip, and yes, they've gripped. I'm just wary of that rock on the left hand side there, but no, we've got past that and safely through. The next truck up is a man named Paul Willard, and this is his cannon, and you can see he's got a bull bar and all the rest of the gear on it, roof rack, and young Ralph is just giving him a guide. Go left, come ahead, but Paul will put his foot down in a minute, and you too, I think, is just a little bit wary of that rock on the left hand side. But there he is. Missed, no problem at all, and Paul's on his way through that as well. Awesome. Next up is the blue cannon, and this one's just on road tyres. And the two vehicles that have gone through first have smoothed the way a wee bit. So the blue cannon, although it's sliding and slippery a wee bit, it's gripping and making its way through. And here's young Tim with his red cannon, and he too is on road tyres, and I think we should see that again. That looked pretty dramatic. The whole back of the truck lifting like that. Missed the rock, wheels off the ground. Look at that. Good on you, Tim. Well done. Bit of entertainment for the troops. With me is Tim Elliott from Kepler Motors in Hamilton, and good on you,
to
Tim.
see you.
Maybe tell us a little bit about the vehicles you sell.
Right, well, we've got an absolutely amazing range from the GWM Haval product lineup. We start with a small SUV with the Jolian, and we start from that at $27,990 plus on-road costs. We then go through that range. We have 3 models in the Jolian range. We then go into the H6, which is the next size up, your mid-size SUV, and that we actually have 5 models in that range.
Wow.
Yeah, starting from $33,990.
Yeah.
So when you look at the value for money in our range, and we even have right through to a hybrid like our new car behind me here, as well as the SUVs, we have a stunning lineup of the GWM Cannon, which is New Zealand Autocar Magazine's Ute of the Year for 2020.
Wow.
Not only has it come up Ute of the Year because of its build quality, ride quality and safety, now 5-star safety rating in 2021, it is an absolutely amazing package. You don't get the harsh ride that you traditionally get in a ute, but you get all the safety and benefit of having 3-ton towing capacity, up to a ton payload in the back, but also room for your guests in the back of the vehicle if you're taking a few along with you.
With a bit of leg room.
With a bit of leg room and vents in the back so they have actually get a bit of fresh air as well.
Oh, that's marvellous. Get hold of Tim, and I'm sure he'll look after you.
Look forward to hearing from you.
With me is Phil, and Phil is part of the Aliarc team. And Phil, I understand that your contribution to Aliarc is you've been here 30 years, and you're one of the people who design the bull bars, the nudge bars, and all the other protective items that go on vehicles.
That's correct.
And you're 30 years, that's a long time doing it.
Yeah, it's not quite 30. It's probably more like 22 or something.
Oh, okay. So, do you have a plan? Does somebody say, listen, we need to build a nudge bar for this car, and you go away, think about it, and then come back with some ideas? Is that how it works?
Pretty much, and just draw on experience from what I've done in the past. That's probably where most of it comes from. Past bars that I've made in the past.
So it's improve.
Yeah.
So tell me, you have to get things signed off these days. Mm-hmm. So how does this get signed off? You know, as a usable nudge bar in New Zealand. I mean, and you've got to take into account, you know, the airbag system and what have you.
Yes. So these bars all get tested in Australia to a certain standard that has to be to ensure that the airbags on the vehicle don't go off too early or don't go off at all. So they've got to be fit for purpose.
Right.
So they don't impede with the safety of the car.
Right. We're just a little bit along the way and we've stopped. Somebody got a bit stuck, so Taylor and Charlie, Bob and Lee have just pulled them out. But everybody's taken an opportunity to have a look around, and this bit of a paddock. The river's just over there. Beautiful day. Can't go wrong.
Have the bend.
Keep over. All good?
Okay, mate.
Yep.
Sort of hole that you stayed too long on it. It's lovely.
We've arrived at the first tunnel, and there are two tunnels along this road, but this tunnel is just like just about every other tunnel in the Taranaki district. It's got a wooden roof and it's got a cathedral-like opening at each end, but these are pretty common around this district. We just thought we'd come and have a look.
Very prudent of you, Bill. Very wise.
Yeah, see what we're getting ourselves into. Is it all right around the corner?
Get us in, you got to get us out.
Yeah,
Is there parking around the corner for 8 trucks? Okay.
Well, just a hard thing.
Sorry, it's warming up and go through it.
Not soft. So we've arrived at a tunnel which is about halfway along this track. And on the other side of this tunnel is this water. And man's getting into the water now. See how deep it is. But the other trucks have gone through no worries at all, so I think we should too as well.
Teresa. Where's Teresa gone?
With me is Andrew McCall, and Andrew, you work for Kepler's.
That's right.
And selling cars. The Havel and the Great Wall Motor Ute. And have you done anything like this before?
Never. It's definitely the first time for me.
Really? So when when Tim decided, yes, we're going to go for a four-wheel drive trek and we're going down a Whangamomona road, I don't suppose that meant anything to you, did it?
Not really. It sounded like a leisurely drive in the outback. Maybe some up and down around some corners, bit of gravel, bit of dirt.
Maybe a spot of water.
That's the one.
But I have to say, we drove my Great Wall down in the South Island, and everybody we met was all over it and under it, and sort of what makes this thing tick. And our group of our usual guys just thought it was the bee's knees. They just thought it kept up and did what it.
Yeah.
The four-wheel drive aspect of it was amazing. So that was all good. Now this road, it's all sorts of things. Mainly it's papa, the ground, so it turns to mud relatively quickly, and apparently it can go to like quicksand. To sort of it shakes a bit and you can sink into it.
Yeah.
But and it also goes along a cliff edge, pretty much. A fair bit of the way. There's the cliff, there's the road, there's the other cliff, and the river's down there somewhere. But one of the things about this particular road is the ruts. The ruts are all the way along it, and it's pretty much like going along on rails. You're not going to slide off and go down the bank at all, because those ruts will keep you in the middle of the road. However, having said that, there are a few places where the ruts have disappeared, and of course being road tyres, and mostly all trucks. I think there was only 2, I think, with 4-wheel drive tyres. The rest were road tyres. And driving a 4-wheel drive trek in road tyres is, if they get through it, you just look at them in a new light.
Absolutely.
Wow, that got through that on road tyres. That's unbelievable. Mind you, we did have a bit of help from our friends with the Nissan. We call Big Bad Ralph's Nissan Rescue 1, and it's done a hell of a lot of rescuing on our trips for the last 20 years we've been doing this. So Ralph coming along, I think, is going to be an asset to this track. I mean, if anybody gets stuck or something happens, we always rely on Rescue 1 to come and do some rescuing. Mind you, some of this track is narrow, and if you meet somebody coming the other way, somebody's got to back up. and even this trip, we had to back up a few times, and you're sort of doing it on your mirrors. And it's just amazing, back in the early 1900s when they built this road, that they had to build a couple of tunnels. And we're down in the King Country, folks, and there are quite a number of these particular tunnels on the way to Whangamomona from Taramanui. You go through quite a long one-way tunnel, and it's got the little sort of church arrangement in the roof, all those wood timbers in the roof. Your truck is a blue one. Is there anything special about your one?
No, so it's pretty much just a bog standard Cannon. It's road tyres, as you say. So it is a 4-wheel drive. So I'm going to be putting it into 4-wheel drive mode, and the Cannon's equipped with what they call competition mode. So I can select competition mode, and that'll give me. Hopefully, basically what it does is it turns off all the extra aids, your lane keep assist, it turns off your traction control, your anti-skid.
Okay, so it makes it just a normal 4-wheel drive.
Just makes it a normal 4-wheel drive.
There's something in there called diff locks, I see.
Yes.
And when you come into a hole and you know you're going to get stuck, if you put your diff locks on, it means all 4 wheels are all turning the same. And there's not one sort of, as soon as you put the diff locks on, out you go.